Okay, I'll try to be punctual. I think it's really cool that this talk is actually the last one, because we started with the type of business that only appeared this year, and we are finishing with the type of business that celebrated 30 years this year. So eBay was founded in 1995, Amazon started in 1995. For the longest time, marketplaces were just convenient, another type of shopping. I think fraudsters discovered it around the time of COVID. At the time when everybody, the godfathers and your grandmother, everybody were forced to go online. And this is when fraudsters came to marketplaces and realized that it's an amazing type of business that is scaled for, that is optimized for scale and for speed. And this is exactly what fraudsters need. This is a type of business that is still pretty poorly regulated, and because of that is not very well monitored. So one thing that when I'm thinking about fraud at marketplaces, one thing that I like to do is some kind of like a marketplace bingo. Let's imagine a type of fraud and see how it realizes itself through the marketplaces. So, I don't know, money laundering. Let's create a lot of mule accounts, a lot of seller accounts with synthetic identities, stolen identities, faked identities. Let's create a lot of buyers, let's collude between them and launder money as long as we want with whatever we want. Let's sell stolen goods on the marketplaces. Nobody would know that they're stolen. Let's sell counterfeits, what was just mentioned. You know that most mafias in the world are actually going into the counterfeit business because it is much easier and cheaper to produce than drugs. And it's very hard to prosecute. So even if you're caught and they found out that you are dealing in that, there's not a big chance that you're gonna go to jail, unlike drugs again. Transaction laundering. For transaction laundering, let's process transactions for off-platform scams. So one of the things that we're seeing on marketplaces is you can buy, the listing on the marketplace would feature t-shirts of different sizes, and depending on the size of the t-shirt that you're buying, this is the type of drug that you will get delivered to your door. And it's something that is very easy to do. Terrorist financing, we spoke about terrorist financing here. Let's sell souvenirs. Souvenirs for the little nation in the Middle East that everybody care about so much, and this money will actually go to find Hamas or other terrorist organization. Human trafficking. I'm sure these guys are involved too. I don't know specifically how, but I am completely sure that human trafficking is proliferated on marketplaces as well. Couple of examples that we know were uncovered on marketplaces. So again, we were talking about friendly fraud here. Friendly fraud is the biggest problem of the industry right now. If you go to any conference anywhere in the world, this is what they're going to talk about. So Amazon is a mothership of a friendly fraud. Fraudsters made an art of it many years ago, actually, when they would order goods, then claim that they were not delivered. They would receive a new delivery, then they will claim that it came broken, then they will receive a refund, and they sell the two shipments that they actually received on the same Amazon, on the same marketplace that they received it from. There are fraudsters. It was a big case several years ago, uncovered on a pretty big marketplace. The name of the marketplace was not disclosed in In the case itself, they took it even a step further. They had insiders helping them. They were receiving refunds for, they were buying luxury items, receiving them, and then sending them back right away. But instead of them, they were sending something else, cheaper goods. And this was something that was very hard for Marketplace to track and figure out that this is happening, because they had to analyze phone conversations, they had to analyze shipments, they had to track all of these groups of fraudulent buyers. They even pulled in logistics data of weight of the shipments on the way out and on the way in. Affiliate fraud, again, something that I think everybody who's here sees it in their own side of business. So eBay, in this case, the name of the marketplace was disclosed. eBay found out a group of affiliates, very big affiliates, very successful, running their business. eBay was very happy with them. What they actually did, they stuffed their credentials into browsers of the users, and by this tactic, they were able to associate sales that had nothing to do with them to themselves, and the Department of Justice estimated that the amount of stolen by them like this was about $5.3 million. Again, a very difficult type of fraud to detect, because it basically took eBay a whole cyber investigation to uncover at which point the cookies in the browsers are switching and going into different affiliates. These are the types of frauds, type of scams, types of risks that are being uncovered by marketplaces. But not the ones that I was talking about before. Why? Because even though marketplaces do care about money laundering and frauds and risks, they, even with the new tools, with the AI, even though they have a way to detect them, it's not really in their best interest, because they do profit from all of these sales. And again, the scandal that just happened with Meta, when it was uncovered that they receive about $10 billion a year from fraudulent advertisers, also type of a marketplace. It says that they don't really have to go into all of this. They are still not fully regulated in reports that they have to provide to regulators. They are still being protected by the Section 230 in many ways, that is telling that platform is not responsible for the content that users are putting on it. But still, there are companies and organizations that do care about what is happening on marketplaces, and these are mostly payment providers, payment processors, acquirers. They do care because they are heavily regulated, and they are getting fines and getting hit from regulators for types of transactions and types of goods that they are processing through marketplaces. And for this type of monitoring, we developed a solution, AI-based, of course, as everything, that we're talking about here. We developed a solution that monitors marketplaces for violative listings, because this is something that is accessible from the outside. Not we, not a lot of acquirers and payment processors. They don't have access to inner workings of the marketplace. They cannot look at the seller activity, at the buyer versus seller activity, but listings are available. And we scan marketplaces and look for risks in findings. And sometimes we come across things that when I look at them, I'm thinking, like, are you kidding me? Literally, okay? These are all anonymized, but these are real findings that we found on the marketplaces. I don't know if marketplaces themselves are able to see them. Maybe they are also masked from certain IPs or certain users trying to look at them. We are definitely able to find them. Yeah, the gun that is never been shot by once is still my favorite one. We even saw a listing for human organs. I don't know if it was a joke or not, because the picture was for a Parker pen, but the title of the listing was human organs. So I said human trafficking maybe still exists on the marketplaces. But apart from, if we're talking about the difficulty of uncovering something and using the technology, two cases that I wanted to talk a little bit more about are maybe less severe, but interesting. So this was detected by our AI agent. It's a seller on one of the marketplaces that we monitor. And it looks pretty benign, okay? They're selling souvenirs. We came across it, we thought nothing of it, because we're humans, we don't know everything about everything. But what AI told us is that actually this guy is a big, well-known aficionado of ghost guns. If you don't know what ghost guns are, it's, in the States, all the firearms are heavily regulated. You can buy a gun, there's no problem with that. In most states, but you have to be registered, you have to give your ID details, you have to answer questions, you go to the registry. Ghost guns are unreportable. It's either they are not finished and person is finalizing them at home, or lately what became very popular is 3D prints. And this guy thinks that everybody has a right to a free unregistered gun, and he likes to disseminate the blueprints for 3D printers. What he does, he has on Marketplace, he sells souvenirs, okay? Souvenirs is a good thing to launder all kinds of things. He sells souvenirs, but together with the souvenir, everybody gets a QR code that leads them to a place where they can download a specific gun, and then they just load these blueprints into their 3D printer, and everybody, Luigi Maggioni, can, rest assured that there is somebody else who would continue his work. As an example, when humans knew better than the machines, so in previous case, I didn't know that, we didn't know that. It's a lot of context that maybe people who are very much into the ghost guns would know. In our case, we learned it together with Gen AI, who led us in that discovery. That's a case the other way around, where this was initially dismissed as a false positive. It was found, it's a book, it's a guide to Viagra. I mean, somebody probably needs, an explanation how to actually use it and what to do after you use it, I don't know. But it's a book of 24 pages, listed on the marketplace, actually on many marketplaces. And even if you check all the issuing details of this book, everything checks out, because the number of the publisher exists. It's a small publishing house in Italy. Everything completely checks out, so the system is saying, no, this is a false positive. I mean, we're looking for Viagra on the marketplace, but it's not. But when you start looking into this book or more books, there are many of them existing out there in all the marketplaces, what you start seeing is that these books are sold and advertised either in place of the real Viagra, so you think that it's presented as if you're buying a book, but actually what you're gonna get as a delivery is a pack of Viagra or other medication that there are books about other medications as well, ecstasy, you know, drugs, anything. Or, that's my favorite type, is when they advertise it this way, so the buyers will actually think that they are buying Viagra, but what they're buying is the book. So I saw on many marketplaces, I saw very confused comments from the buyers who, you know, not being very discreet about it, saying, no, guys, really, they actually sent me the book. I was not expecting this. So in this case, when we monitor marketplaces, it's the best way is to combine the expertise of people and the new technology, and it's a pretty advanced technology that is needed to monitor marketplaces. And I lost my thought. Yeah, thank you. So what I wanted to say is that marketplaces, I should have named my talk Who Needs Dark Web When You Have Amazon, because when you look at these examples, right, they look funny and benign, but this is specifically the way they are designed, so they will go through and the marketplace would not know, but this is something that needs to be monitored. This is something that we do monitor on a daily basis and provide this information, because anything you can imagine and anything that was talked about here during this day, you can find on the marketplace. You just need to know how to look for it. Thank you.
All right, folks, let's wrap up. Look, thank you for coming. Not every day we have a named storm, so that's actually good that you stayed all the way through. Look, every time that we do a FraudCon, lots of people are helping, lots of work is invested in a FraudCon. Thank you, Gilit, my co-chair for FraudCon. Thank you, Ravid. Ravid is the logistic officer for the event. And thank you for Tel Aviv University. Thank you for all of the speakers that came over. Let's actually talk a little bit about the next FraudCon. So the next FraudCon is going to be in June, as usual, right? And what I would like you to think about is, do you want to participate as program committee members? Because that's going to be interesting. Discussing ideas, thinking what will be interesting for the audience. And also we'll have a call for papers. So if you want to share your thoughts about guns, Viagra, scams, we're interested in all of that. So we're going to publish the call for papers. If you already have some ideas, think about those and send it over to us, to myself or Gilit.
Thank you, Good evening.
Yeah, and thank you very much for coming.